First I was an assistant and I worked for other artists. Then in 1970 I came back from Europe where I was living. I started painting and I was very lucky. Agnes Martin came to my studio and she recommended one of the great galleries in New York and my career took off. It's 40 years later and I've been really very lucky. I've been doing studies of flowers, mostly plants, for a long time, and I try to keep up with it. And it's really a study the way Audubon studied birds. I mean, it's very specific to the plant, and people love them, and I love them. I think I've met everybody, and everybody's met me. It's really important for an artist to talk about other artists, and I picked these because they're American artists of different generations who communicate to the broad world things that are interesting to me and I know are interesting to other people. One of them is Kara Walker, who just had a wonderful, successful exhibit. What's wonderful to me about this piece is it's like a Renaissance piece. In there are two figures. The character of the young child has an axe in her hand and the violence frees her. So she has chopped off the legs of the proprietor and she's freeing herself. I think a lot of artists feel that women have been left out. I think minorities have been left out. I am very serious about this. She's saying, I'm going to go there. I have the bravery to be a woman artist, a black woman artist, and I have something socially relevant to say, and she stood with it for 20 years. Andy was a very fey person. Very shy and very fey and didn't talk much. The way that I understand this, and Andy and I talked about this, is that when Andy was growing up in Pittsburgh, he was a 30s kid in the Depression, and he fantasized about movie stars and how they were the glamour and how he wanted to be like them. And this is the epitome of American masculinity for a lot of people. In this, Andy says John Wayne is it, the way Marilyn Monroe was it. And his popularity was based on the roles that he played, which were fantasy roles. So this is particularly beautiful because of the colors. This blue and red and the black just knock out as far as I'm concerned. And the red line for the face, it's, with Warhol's drawing, it's really a wonderful piece. I like Alex's work very much. I like the flatness of his work, but I like the flatness of my work as well. When I went to Holland, the hotelier knew my work and loved it and said, go to the tulip fields, it's closing. And this is like the tulip fields in Holland. It's this never-ending picture of yellow tulips. And I like it because it's very large and it works like a frieze. I wouldn't mind living with it myself. In the early days of the art world, it was very small. It was very sweet. I would go to galleries and people would say, hi, Ed. Leo Castelli would come out from his desk. I wish it were like that now for everybody. But at the same time, it's more interesting in another way because it's more international. I've seen it change and I like both ways. But the early part was a lot of fun.